Genesis chapter 41, verses 25 to 57. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, "The dreams of Pharaoh are one and the same. God has revealed to Pharaoh what he has about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good heads of grain are 7 years. It is one and the same dream. The 7 lean, ugly cows that came up afterward are 7 years, and so are the 7 worthless heads of grain scorched by the east wind. They are 7 years of famine. It is as I said to Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. 7 years of great abundance are coming throughout the land of Egypt, but 7 years of famine will follow them. Then all the abundance in Egypt will be forgotten, and the famine will ravage the land. The abundance in the land will not be remembered, because the famine that follows it will be so severe. The reason the dream was given to Pharaoh in 2 forms is that the matter has been firmly decided by God, and God will do it soon. And now let Pharaoh look for a discerning and wise man and put him in charge of the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh appoint commissioners over the land to take a fifth of the harvest of Egypt during the 7 years of abundance. They should collect all the food of these good years and are coming and store up the grain under the authority of Pharaoh to be kept in the city for food. This food shall be held in and reserved for the country to be used during the 7 years of famine that will come upon Egypt, so that the country may not be ruined by the famine. The plan seemed good to Pharaoh and to all his officials. So Pharaoh asked them, "Can we find anyone like this man, one in whom is the Spirit of God?" Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you. You shall be in charge of my palace, and all my people are to submit to your orders. Only with respect to the throne will I be greater than you." So Pharaoh said to Joseph, I will, I hereby put you in charge of the whole land of Egypt." Then Pharaoh took his signet ring from his finger and put it on Joseph's finger. He dressed him as in robes of fine linen, and put a gold chain around his neck. He had him ride in a chariot as his second in command, and people shouted before him, "Make way!" Thus he put him in charge of the whole land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I am Pharaoh, but without your word no one will lift hand or foot in all Egypt." Pharaoh gave Joseph the name Zaphenath Phinehah, and gave him Asenath, daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, to be his wife, and Joseph went throughout the land of Egypt. Joseph was 50 years old when he entered the service of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from Pharaoh's presence and traveled throughout Egypt. During the 7 years of abundance, the land produced plentifully. Joseph collected all the food produced in those 7 years of abundance in Egypt and stored it in the cities. In each city he put the food grown in the fields surrounding it. Joseph stored up huge quantities of grain like the sand of the sea. It was so much that he stopped keeping records because it was beyond measure. Before the years of famine came, 2 sons were born to Joseph by Asenath, daughter of Potipharah, priest of Un. Joseph named his firstborn Manasseh and said, It is because God has made me forget all my trouble and all my father's household. The second son he named Ephraim, and said, "It is because God has made me fruitful in the land of my suffering." The 7 years of abundance in Egypt came to an end, and the 7 years of famine began, just as Joseph had said. There was famine in all the other lands, but in the whole land of Egypt there was food. When all Egypt began to feel the famine, the people cried to Pharaoh for food. Then Pharaoh told all the Egyptians, "Go to Joseph and do what he tells you." When the famine had spread over the whole country, Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold grain to the Egyptians, for the famine was severe throughout Egypt, and all the world came to Egypt to buy grain from Joseph because the famine was severe everywhere. The word of the Lord, Genesis chapter 41, verses 25 to 57. So this is a continuation of the first few verses from 1 to 24. So it was so that Joseph was able to speak with Pharaoh. And when he spoke to Pharaoh, he told Pharaoh what were the meanings of his dream. And it was said by Joseph that it was God who revealed to Pharaoh his will. Okay, so if we notice here, since God made all this known to you, there is no one discerning. So it was Joseph who told Pharaoh. The reason dream was given to Pharaoh in two forms is the matter has been firmly decided by God, and God will do it soon. Okay, it's just as I said, Pharaoh, God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. So if you notice here, Joseph did not claim that God revealed it to him. In fact, that is true. God revealed it to Joseph, so he can reveal it to Pharaoh. But what Joseph was pointing was that God was speaking through Pharaoh through his dream. It's just that Pharaoh cannot interpret it in his own. So you can see here the humbleness of Joseph, because it could have been, given to Joseph, but why to Pharaoh? Because first, God has a plan for Joseph to put him in charge for everything, and second, God uses Pharaoh for his will. So this is kind of flattering. If I am Pharaoh, I would be flattered because the God of the universe is revealing to me his will, what he's planning. It's just that I can't interpret them. So you can see here the humbleness of Joseph, and Joseph did not lift up himself to be like the servant of Pharaoh. He did not right away said to Pharaoh that, "Why don't you make me your servant or right hand?" Right? He could have said that after he gave the meaning, but he let Pharaoh decide on his own. So, being humble, friends, is a great matter for human, because this is where God sees us as, if ever he will lift us up, or he will bring us down, because in the word of the Lord he said that humbleness will the God will lift up the humble people, but the proud people he will bring them down. So let us be humble in everything that we do. We may have great talents and knowledge, but it is God who gave us that to us. So we should lift up God first and think of others as better than us. So I'm learning to do this in everything, because me too, I'm a proud person. So this is the lesson that I can see on this chapter. Beside God speaking to Joseph, so Joseph will not be able to hear the word of the Lord if he was not um, soaked with the Spirit of God. So I can say that Joseph was talking to God every day. That's why this is being revealed to him. So to us as well during this time, if we can relate, we needed to speak to God and listen to His word every day for us to be more sensitive on what He is about to do and what He is saying. So this is life. We cannot deny this. This is how we live, and this is how we being created by God. And let's seek God and continue to read His Bible, His Word, and may His will be revealed to us as well, like what He did to Joseph. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I was able to share something to you about the Word of the Lord, and I encourage you to read the Bible because this is very interesting, and it will nourish our spiritual life as well as we know God. Thank you so much, and God bless.